up? Welcome to San Jose Unhoused, Beyond the Stereotype, where we take a deeper look at one of the most urgent social justice issues in the Bay Area, homelessness.
Hi, my name's Angelica and my co-host,
Adriana.
Today we'll talk about a very serious issue here in the Bay Area, homelessness. Homelessness is very important to me because I'm a lot closer to being unhoused than I am having home security.
And I had to live out there in the streets at one point.
Today, our question is going to be, why is homelessness growing in San Jose? San Jose has over 6,000 unhoused residents, part of 161,000 in California as of last year. Even when national numbers drop, California continues to rise. Adriana, do you have any insight on why that might be?
A lot of it does seem to be from lower quality of living and overpriced housing. Some people just being thrown out for whatever reason, mental illness, or not being up to their family standards, and they're just thrown out without any way to prepare.
For sure. Resources are lacking.
Yeah.
Also, I was made aware through my research that a lot of people are unhoused because of the rising rents, especially here in the Bay Area. We have corporations overseas coming over here and buying up the real estate and jacking up the prices, making it practically unlivable for someone living on minimum wage or low wages.
This humble little block on the edge of downtown San Jose is little more than two-bedroom bungalows, old auto repair shops, and empty lots. But a high-stakes drama unfolded here when Google came to town. The internet giant made an unusual and clever power play that reaped millions for one family, but stoked resentment and frustration for others.
For your situation, how did you end up unhoused, and why did you end up unhoused?
For one, turned out trans, mom didn't like that, and mom wanted me to be replacement dad.
Wow.
Which is fucking disgusting.
So she wanted you to fill a father role.
And I did not live up to that, and she also wanted me to be her ATM and make money for her with my job. And she ended up making a joint account for me and didn't allow me to get an ID, so I had no say about it. So she took all my money and then threw me out when I started refusing to give her money because she started spending it on gifts, which were only for her.
And I feel like that highlights a personal story that most of us don't know. For example, when we look at people who are unhoused, we make judgments or we make assumptions. And Adriana here is sharing her story and sharing how she ended up unhoused. And it's a personal reason due to her family structure and dynamic. And it's just another perspective that I feel everyone should understand and hear. Common misconceptions: not all unhoused people are addicted or lazy. Many are working or disabled, as shared by Adriana. That is her experience.
Or rather, looking for jobs, and it's a nightmare trying to get a job without a home. Like,
yeah.
I never was able to find a job outside of, some work services.
And that saying is like, once you fall off the track of like being employed, housed, you lose one main component to it, it all just derails. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are in that position right now. So what struck me the most was how normal people's stories are. Lost a job, got priced out, and nowhere to go. Why is it so hard to get out of homelessness, Adriana?
For one, it's kind of just, unless you're lucky enough to find support, or at least support with like enough money and resources to help you, you're kind of just on your own. A lot of the shelters that I've been in were just really, really insidious, and they're really insidious, and they would essentially keep people coming back in because they don't provide the essential resources in order for us to live on our own.
So, for example, there are barriers: lack of shelter, long wait lists for housing, mental health system gaps, policing of homelessness. Instead of investing in housing, cities have often criminalized sleeping in public or panhandling. I just watched a segment with Gavin Newsom about criminalizing unhoused people.
It is time to take back the streets. It's time to take back the sidewalks. It's time, I think, to just end the excuses and call the question. It's about accountability.
I'm not sure that's the solution. I don't have the solution myself, but I just feel it's a little inhumane. I'm willing to listen to how he's going to approach the situation. Yeah, what do you think about it, Adriana?
Yeah, it's very inhumane and extremely counterproductive because to just shrug off actual living, breathing people and basically label them as vermin
Yeah.
on the street.
I also kind of want to say that generational inequality has set up millions of people to fail. And you either swim or sink. And I feel like a lot of people don't have the tools to swim, especially when you are part of generational inequality and being poor. The Constitution and early US laws excluded poor people. Historically, continuity of injustice. So, what can we do, Adriana, for the homelessness or the unhoused people?
So, I mean, for one, is improve the quality of living over in the shelters because, damn.
Agreed.
And another thing is just like there are so many like of these programs coming out with tiny homes and like building new housings and stuff, and a lot of them are apartments and stuff, but like, they end up becoming like pretty expensive. And
Not really affordable.
and the main thing is that it's just not affordable.
Right.
So one thing that I think could happen is like I know there's a lot of properties owned by corporations and like big rich individuals, and that could be used for other things if they were just willing to like, because if they realize that they aren't using it for anything or hardly ever use it, they could hand it off and turn that into more housing as well.
Did you know that developers and contractors have incentives to build affordable housing through the government, through grants, through funding, and yeah, they get a lot of money for promising to create affordable housing, which when you're building a multi-million-dollar building and you are putting affordable housing in it, is it truly affordable?
Part of at this point, I keep hearing that, and it honestly just sounds like a marketing tactic.
I totally agree.
Because a lot of the housing they say is affordable is still like ridiculously expensive. I was in a studio at one point over in downtown San Jose, which was basically built into this really old house, and it was single bedroom, single bathroom, and well, it was just single room with a bathroom and attached to a kitchen. And it was abysmal there. It always stunk there because the plumbing was in disrepair. The handle on the sink was broken, and when I walked in, the light was smashed.
Wow.
And had to be replaced. And you want to know how much that cost me to live every month?
I don't know. Tell everyone, Adriana, how much did it cost?
It practically cost $20,000 per month to stay in a crappy single-room studio in complete disrepair.
20,000
Well, it's not in complete disrepair, but 20,000
a month.
a month.
Why is that so expensive? That's like living in a mansion.
It's, I don't know. My grandpa calls people landlords that sell old places like that and just sell them as is like that. Call them
How do you
slumlords.
afford $20,000 a month?
So I was originally put in there due to rapid rehousing from Bill Wilson, and what they essentially did was they put me in there. However, they did not give me a bed. They did not give me like any food to start with. They basically put me in a boat with no oars.
So, who is affording the $20,000 bill?
I presume so. Although the rapid rehousing is a separate program.
Why do you think a program is willing to pay $20,000 a month for an unhoused to live in a studio in a crappy building? Would you think that they're trying to somehow, when someone has a budget, they have to spend all the budget or they cut the budget down? Is $20,000 reasonable for someone to spend on a studio, one bathroom, not dignifying living? type situation?
Absolutely not.
Very interesting. What can we do to help the unhoused and the homelessness? Existing programs that are working, tiny homes, house first models, and also it's important to get out there and vote. I also read that San Jose had a bill or a measure come up and the community voted against it. And what it showed me was that some of us are empathetic about the situation, but we don't take action. Either because it's something we see and we don't want part of our community. And I will say that I've been in that situation. I live in an apartment that is surrounded sometimes by unhoused people, and typically we allow it and we're kind. But there's times where they come and dump their garbage or whatever. And as a part of the community, no one wants to see that. But also, where do they go? You know. And if we have communities, opposing bills or movements or to help the unhoused, we're not going to get anywhere. So I encourage everyone to vote, advocate, and challenge stigmas. Housing should be a human right and not a reward for those who can afford it. Do you share the same sentiment?
Yes, absolutely. People should have access to food and shelter. Food, water, shelter. Those are the bare essentials.
I agree. So with that being said, Adriana, do you want to leave everybody with some last words?
So there is a bill coming up. I believe it is AB 750, which is still currently in progress, and however I imagine it's going to be sent to California ballots, and it's for enforcing surveys and inspections for homeless shelters, specifically because they have gotten away with doing a bunch of shady crap, which includes but not limited to basically human trafficking, like sexual harassment towards the clients there, and generally just treating the people there inhumanely, and also like embezzlement.
There you have it. So go out there and vote, make a difference, make your voice heard, and help those who need help. Thank you.